Pertinence, rights or privilege that run with the land. What do they have in common in regards to our conversation today? They both do what? They both go with the land. They both go with the land. So apparently, what they're telling us here is they may use these words interchangeably on the exam. An improvement technically is considered to be an appurtenance. Why? Because it goes with the land. That's the first important bullet point on this one, okay? I don't think it would be said in such a way that it would confuse you once you've been introduced to that concept. More importantly, let me talk to you about improvements from this standpoint. I want you, if you study this at all, and this is not a big study, I want you to focus on the difference between improvements on the land versus an improvement to the land. Improvements on the land versus improvements to the land. Would you like to make it simple, or would you like to make it easy?
Simple.
I would too, and I think that's all it really rates from a test standpoint. Think about improvements on the land as being things that you put on the land that gave it value. An improvement on the land is something you, the owner, put on the land which gave it value. Give me an example of something you put on the land that gives it value. A pool, a fountain. Anybody say house, a building? Okay, garage, trees, fences, these things that you intentionally put there. Landscaping, for example, you intentionally put those things there to add value to the property. Improvements on the land. Matter of fact, I'll make it one step easier than that. Improvements on the land are typically the things you think of as improvements when you drive by a property and see it. Okay? Let me give you something to compare that to. Improvements to the land. Now, improvements to the land may be done by the owner, but it's very possible that they were done by a government or quasi-governmental entity. For example, your infrastructure, your utilities, okay? The power company. They brought power to your company. Do you recognize that there was value in power being brought to your company? Do you realize that there's value by virtue of the fact that there's water and sewer available to your property? Do you realize that it makes your property more valuable that there is a paved road versus a dirt road going to your property? This is what we mean by improvements to the land. Things that were done either literally to the land that made it more usable, or done nearby that made it more usable and accessible. So when you think about improvements to the land, think about accessibility, roads, bridges. Did you, the homeowner, have anything to do with a road or a bridge being built in front of your house? Probably not. I mean, unless it was a private road, okay? But there are some things that you literally did have to do with that made your property more valuable. For example, do you understand that a cleared lot is more valuable, if you're thinking about the house on it, a cleared lot is more valuable than a wooded lot because you're going to have to take the trees down, all right? Do you understand that a graded lot, graded, G-R-A-D-E-D, a graded lot, so that it's ready to have a house put on it, is more valuable than raw land, okay? Do you understand that a property is more valuable if it's on a paved road versus a dirt road? That's what we mean by improvements to the land. Sometimes you did not even do it. It was done, and it improved your land by virtue of that. Just one other thing I'd like to add to this, and this is not a big deal for test purposes, but in the field, if you wouldn't mind, be careful about how you use the word improved lot or improved land, because you might be putting information out there. You're advertising information. I went and looked at a lot one day over in Franklin County, which I thought was a really good price, and they described it as being an improved lot. Well, when I got there, what I realized what they meant by an improved lot was someone had just taken some type of earth moving equipment and cut a road to it. It wasn't even a private road. It wasn't even a gravel road. It certainly wasn't paved. And there was nothing, but they considered it an improved lot. I wasted my time driving out to Franklin County to look at something that was nowhere near the level of improvement that I thought it was. So if you advertise an improved land or improved lot, I would recommend you tell people, what do you mean by that? Is it accessible? Does it already have utilities? Does it already have water and sewer capabilities? And things like that. I think it's a courtesy that you can do to your colleagues in the industry. I don't think it's a big deal for test purposes. Okay? Man, I thought I was going to let you go early today. Well, technically it's 2:40.